Now let's take a look at the SuperNATURAL acoustic engine inside the FAs. So I'm going to go ahead and select my piano, my full grand. Now, when we talk about grand pianos, everybody is super picky about their grand pianos. Your idea of a grand piano and my idea and someone else's of a good piano just really varies. It's all over the place. So one thing I suggest doing, first off, you have a multitude of pianos in here. A lot of different ones to choose. But let's take this first one and let's edit it to our specifications. So here's how it sounds naturally. Sounds great. Now, one thing I want to point out before we start editing is if I press the keys and I press them down and I didn't trigger the sound, it's on. If I press it down and I hit any of the other keys, they are going to resonate these keys right here. Just like a real acoustic piano would do. Now let's take a listen over here. If I go ahead and press a note and let it ring out, normally when we're dealing with PCM, the sample that makes up that sound is only X amount long, okay? So when we hold out a tone, at some point it's going to run out and we're going to have to physically loop it. So sometimes when we hold out those notes, you might hear an audible woo, and it's not cool. Now check it out. When we do it here, it's going to naturally decay, just like an acoustic. So when we play slow passages, maybe for church or ballads, it's going to sound really great. So it's going to sound really great. Now let's go ahead and edit this piano now. So once again, Shift, Tone Edit, and now look at all these parameters. These parameters in the SuperNATURAL engines change according to the instrument that we're editing. So for the piano, here's some of the common things we would edit. Maybe like a stereo width. So if I'm playing a solo piano, I want more width in my sound, okay, more frequencies. So if I'm doing stuff like that's a nice big sound. But if I'm playing in the band, there's a lot of frequencies going on. So I can take this stereo width and I can focus all those frequencies so that way it fits more in the pocket of the band. So I can take these off very quickly. And it fits in here. Another key thing I can do is maybe take that hammer noise and adjust it. So when I play with a softer or a harder hammer. If I'm playing with a harder hammer, that could be good if I'm doing a more rhythmic piano, like maybe we're doing some salsa music. Now let's take a listen using the softer hammers on more of a ballad-esque kind of sound. Same thing, I can go and adjust my string resonance and my key off resonance. So actually, so you can see, you can go inside your piano and customize it. And then once again, once you make the piano you like, you can press right, save it as a tone, rename it to whatever you want, and there you go. You have your own custom piano. So that's something real easy to do. Let's go ahead and take a look at one other SuperNATURAL acoustic. So let's go ahead and choose organ. Pretty good sound right out of the box. Okay, let's go ahead and do some editing of that sound. Shift, Tone Edit, and now check it out. We can get into all the drawbars right here. Okay, all the bars. So I can change it very quickly. Okay, Now, one thing when we talk about tone wheel organs are like a car. Okay, when they're brand new, you can't hear any of the engine. It's real nice and clean. But as it ages, the engine, you're going to start hearing it. Okay, so we can adjust our particular organ, our SuperNATURAL organs inside the FA to do the same. And one of those things is called leakage. I'm going to go ahead and turn it all the way to 0, and turn off my percussion switch and my other settings here, so you can get an accurate representation. So check it out. So here is leakage, no leakage in the organs, like it was brand new right out of the box or from the factory. Nice clean sound. But as the instrument ages, you're going to hear more hum or more engine noise out of it. So check it out. I'm going to adjust it here now. So you hear it, it's a very subtle thing, but when we play, it's going to come out, and it's going to be something you kind of love. Now let's go ahead and adjust one other thing in here, and that is key click on. As we play keyboards, dust and different things get into the keys and make them almost dirty. It's almost like having dirty contacts in here. So I can adjust the key click on. So when I press down, it'll click. And then I'll also adjust key click off. When I let off the key, there'll be a click. So let's do key click on now. There you go, you hear it? Now let's do key click off. Nothing. Let's adjust that. So there we got these subtleties that really make a lot of difference. Now let me show you one more thing you can do with this particular instrument, which you'll want to do. Everybody is also very picky on their rotary speaker. Just a quick history on rotary speakers. It's usually 2 speakers within that speaker. We have our tweeter, and we have our woofer. And they're being spun by a belt, okay, like a car belt, basically, okay? And back in the old days, guys would soak the belts, stretch them to get them just right, and that would adjust how fast they would ramp up, ramp down. Well, check it out. Inside the FAs, if you wanted to, you can go ahead and do the same thing and control those 2 things individually. Volumes, how fast they ramp up, ramp down, and their speeds. So that's something totally cool. So as you can see, inside the FA-08, FA-06 music workstations, the SuperNATURAL acoustic engines give you a lot of flexibility and help you get all the subtleties of that instrument as well as those different articulations.